What is your will, my master?
Hey, what's up, Theo? Quick demo video for you for your 89 Sabers OWK4. So this came to me, it was already weathered and it was installed. This was just kind of a reinstall for me that you wanted me to do for you. So it's all done. I reused the Proffie, but I put in my own chassis system and then I redid your PCB. So before, when this came to me, it had this PCB in it right here. We went ahead and got rid of that. This is the 89 Sabers version. And I put some CC Sabers lit PCB in there, right? So you still got plenty of blade depth if you can see that there. So all good to go. And then the chassis system. So what you want to do is just open it from right here. This comes right out. You've got easy access to your board now. And you can just take this chassis and pull it straight out just like that. You've got a blade side PCB in there that never comes out, and then we'll go over this chassis here in a second, but this is the one that I took out of it. So obviously this was wired up, which isn't that's not bad. I'm just letting you know what we took out of it in case you never saw this. But there's a 24 millimeter speaker in this guy before. You did have removable battery, but the way that your board was put in back here, it was glued down to the chassis, and then you didn't have SD card access. So if you wanted to get in there and change anything, it would have been very difficult to do that. So we went ahead and we got rid of this guy. Gave you this wireless version of what I do for this guy. So I actually take the PCB, the switch PCB off of the Saber. I throw away the bracket that holds it in, and then I incorporate it into the chassis, obviously, right? So that's what we did there. You still have removable battery, but there's no keystone now, so the battery holder is incorporated into the chassis. So you got your spring side right here, and then you've got a 7-pin PCB right here that makes contact with that blade side PCB that's in there. You're probably not going to be able to see it very good. You can barely see it right there, right? And then we went from a 24 millimeter speaker to a 28 millimeter Smuggler's Outpost. This is the elite version, right? And it sounds really good. There are holes cut out in this clamp area. If you look at it right here, you've got these two holes, and then you've got this slit right here, and that's what the sound escapes from. And that speaker faces those holes. So it sounds really good, and I'll fire this up here in a second, right? And then for board access, I like to put the board here in the back. This is just a tight snap fit down into the shelf, but you've got access to both your micro USB and your SD card right there, and you never have to move the board. You can do all your stuff from right here. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll throw a battery in this guy. We are going to reuse the battery that was in it when it came.
Destroy the Sith. We must.
So sounds really good. When you're putting this guy in, you need to line up the switch PCB with these two plungers right here that you see in the Saber. That is the only way that this chassis will go in, right? So we'll come over here, slide this in, make sure that the switch PCB is lined up with those two plungers, and then you can push it all the way in. Just push it in until it doesn't go in anymore. Well, and if you want to test it before you put the handle on or the back pommel piece, you can just hit activation. We're good there, right? So we'll turn that off, and we'll come back here and we'll put this pommel section on and screw it down, and it locks everything in place, right? So no motion controls on this Saber. I did not mess with the config. I did look at the SD card because I just wanted to see what was going on with your stuff. You have a copy of the config file that was used for the Saber on the SD card, so that's good, and of course all your sound fonts and everything. So this is set up the exact same way. So power is the front button. Nice slow swing. You can hear how loud this guy is. Auxiliary back here. And we'll turn it off. Yeah, this guy is super loud. I've had some people ask me about that with some concerns about how loud is this Saber going to be if it's not coming through the pommel. It's just as loud coming through here as it would be a vented pommel, in my personal opinion. All right, so we'll throw a blade in. It does take a 1-inch diameter NeoPixel blade. If you find that the blade is tight, just kind of like turn it as you're tightening it into the emitter. You have 2 blade retention screws. I'm not going to use them for the sake of this demo, but you've got one right here, and then 45 degrees from that, you've got one more. All right, so you can use both of those or just one if you like. Very solid though. Your class sensitivity on your current config is at a 3.0. Normally I would set it at a 2.9, but that's so close to what I would do. Like I said, I didn't mess with anything there. Tapping your auxiliary button, giving you your blaster bolt reflex, and then you got the good flash on flash. And we'll change sound fonts by tapping auxiliary.
Master Qui-Gon. Father's lightsaber, the weapon of a Jedi Knight. I suggest you try it again, Luke. This time, let go your conscious self and act on instinct.
Now this saber, the volume on this guy is set up way higher than what I would normally do, right? It's not hurting anything. It makes the saber sound super loud. It's not setting off any false clashes, but I did notice that your volume is set to 3,000. And I know people who run these Smugglers Outpost 28mm speakers at 3,000 and are fine. I normally would send out a saber and it would be set to 2,000. And then from there, you can do whatever you like. But I went ahead and I left it alone.
Commander Skywalker, do you copy?
That's kind of where we're at. Your saber just screaming.
Obiwan Kenobi.
And we'll go ahead and take the blade out. I'm not going to go over every sound font because you have quite a few. I just wanted to go over a few of them to show you that that everything was working like it should. And then for a thin neck, this has a pretty decent amount of blade depth, so it holds the blade very well. All right, so to get everything back out, what you want to do again, we'll just unscrew this piece right here. Take this out, it slides right off, and then you can take the chassis and pull it straight out, just like that. And then we'll take this from the positive side, which is over here by these pins, and we'll just pull the battery out just like that with our fingers. And that is pretty much your saber. Let me know if you got any questions, and if not, we'll get this guy out in the mail to you today, actually. All right, thanks.